There can be so many combustible elements in a triple threat match. A superstar must keep in mind the no count-out stipulation can mean that the match is going to be fought in every possible location. All that matters is when it's time to go for a pinfall or submission, the participants have to be in the ring.
We've witnessed on a number of occasions the personal issues between competitors forcing the match to overflow into the crowd, up the ramp, or in the locker room. In a triple threat, there are no countouts and no disqualifications, so it's essential for the superstar to remain composed enough to remember that the match must end in the ring.
Facts like that are not always easy to remember when a superstar is so focused on destroying their opponents. In a triple threat match, a competitor must take advantage of the no countout and no disqualification stipulations. They must also remind themselves that when it's time to put someone away, it must take place in the ring, not on the outside.
The superstar always needs to be ready to be attacked by both opponents in a triple threat match. Circumstances create interesting alliances, and the numbers game can become your worst enemy in a hurry when you're competing against two other opponents. No matter how you look at it, it's a situation you don't want to be in, but you must prepare for it.
A competitor must be ready for the possibility that they'll fall victim to a 2-on-1 attack on a triple threat match. A great example of that was the triple threat match on SmackDown Live between AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin. No one thought that Ziggler and Styles would work together to perform a double dive off the barricade that put Corbin through the Spanish announce table.
And that's exactly what a superstar always needs to have in the back of their mind. That at some point, their two opponents will most likely join together and take them out. It's one of many occupational hazards that come with competing in a triple threat match.
At 2016's Clash of Champions, it was another classic triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. It was Bayley versus the Boss, Sasha Banks, versus the champion, Charlotte Flair. The match started out more like a singles match between the Boss and the Queen. Bayley learned very quickly it was every woman for herself.
The triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship was another example of the incredible competition between the female superstars of WWE. Charlotte was physically dominant in fighting off the challenges of Bayley and Sasha Banks. At one point, the Queen even landed a moonsault on both their opponents at the same time. But the Boss and Bayley put it all on the line and kept fighting.
There were several near pinfalls during this battle, but in the end, as it should be, the Queen exhibited her genetic superiority by fighting off both her challengers. After drilling Bayley with a boot to the face, the Queen pinned the Hugger and retained her Raw Women's Championship.
It's always important to get off to a strong start in a match. It's even more important to do that in a triple threat match, given that you're going up against two opponents at the same time. Add to that the no disqualification stipulation, and there's little to no room for error. One mistake, and it can cost you a lot more than winning the match.
Byron, you spoke about this before. A competitor must do everything they can do to start things off on the right foot in a triple threat match. One way to do that is to target one of your opponents and go after them as soon as the bell rings. You're battling two opponents at the same time, so it's hunt or be hunted.
And that's what I like, Michael. It's survival of the fittest in that ring. In a triple threat, a superstar can't waste time feeling opponents out, getting warmed up, or easing their way into the match. You have to go at it as soon as the match begins.
Some superstars who've competed in a triple threat match feel it's a good idea to have both a finishing move that brings you to a pinfall attempt on your opponent and a submission move that can make your opponent tap out. Given the chaotic and unpredictable nature of a triple threat, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Some superstars have implemented for competing in a triple threat match, and that includes having a finishing maneuver to put someone away for the 1, 2, 3.